Game loaded.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Lessons Learned with your host, Rafael Piñero. Recently, I got a question on social media about Mass Effect Andromeda, and it went something like this. How excited are you for Mass Effect Andromeda, and what type of writer are you going to make or create? I have to say that I didn't answer the question in the best way possible the first time around. I just shot out a very quick answer that went something like, I am cautiously optimistic about Mass Effect Andromeda. And I didn't say anything about characters or writers, so I didn't even answer the full question. Now that I think about it, it's a little more complex than just, not buying games on release or pre-ordering. There are three levels to this. There's the industry level, there's the BioWare Electronic Arts level, and then there's a personal level. Well, yeah, that sounds very complex, but I'll break it down for you. First of all, let's talk about the industry level, right? I recently said about the last year, 2016, that was the year of early access. And I didn't mean it as a compliment. I meant it as a critique, a negative one, because I felt that right now, with the digital age of video games, that is digital downloading distribution of video games, everything seems to be early access, especially AAA games. They come out, many of them incomplete. They require massive patches and bug fixes in first day, first week, even the first month. So buying a game or pre-ordering a game early on doesn't seem to be a good value proposition for me. Also, especially on consoles where the games can be as large as in multiple gigabytes and don't get compressed. And I suspect it's because the software on the side of the console can't decompress files, right? They don't have the equivalent of WinZip or something similar. So they just send the raw file like that. And the fixes for these games can be as large, if not larger, than the original file. Not to mention, of course, then you have DLC and microtransactions and all that. So I don't think I'm going to be acquiring any game, because I'm never someone to buy games new anyway. At least not brand new out of the gate, unless it's a game I really want. For that reason, also, I'm going to be playing it on PC, and I'm going to talk about that later on, the third part of the video, and the personal reasons. But I'm going to be buying it on PC, and because consoles have become the lowest common denominator, often popular games get ported to PC with extra problems because perhaps the company pawn off, they port to a third party, etc., and they're not that good on adapting the game to it. Then you go into the BioWare layer of things. That's why I say cautiously optimistic, because I said before in a recent video, and I put the link below, BioWare has this problem that they acknowledge, at least internally, when they have problems, but they don't publicly admit them. And that means that they tend to then not fully engage with the problem. They sort of go halfway. They do half measures, right? Just enough to soothe the base, whoever thinks they're their critics, but never really assessing the problem or attacking it directly and openly. And so that is a problem, right? We saw with Mass Effect 3. In fact, one of the reasons I think I was so disappointed about the ending wasn't simply about what was there or wasn't there, or how it was done, but also how it was handled afterwards. And this also goes to the other part of the question that I didn't answer, and I'm going to answer right now as best as I can, and that is about characters. BioWare decided that the best way to deal with the whole kerfuffle about the ending was to essentially focus on one subset of the fan base, the chippers, the people who are attracted to Mass Effect because of the romance and the characters and stuff like that. I mean, I like characters as well, and I like a good story, certainly, but that's not really the aspect that draws me to their games, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. And those people were left in the cold, especially many of the retakers, when the extended cut and particularly the Citadel DLC became essentially fan service packs for the chippers. It's fine to do that, but it also that situation tends to have a lensing effect. And what do I mean by that? I mean that because you have a very vocal, relatively large, I admit, subsection of the fan base that talks about romantic aspects of games, etc., the tendency has been to focus on that, perhaps to the exclusion of other areas of the game. So I'm afraid that you may have a lot of focus on that and not focus on other areas. Or you may have BioWare try to please everyone and end up with sort of a very mild kind of game that doesn't really do anything outstanding. I hope that's not the case, but that's a possibility. And then you have the personal reasons. And the personal reasons are also where I'm cautiously optimistic, is because, especially optimistic, is because of Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition turned out to be a very good game. I liked it very much. And hopefully, I played it on console. In fact, I played it on the 360, with the poor graphics and horrible texture work. But I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed the game a lot. Right now, I'm working to upgrade my rig. My old machine is at its last legs. I have to get a new one. And that means that I have a lot of catching up to do, including Dragon Age Inquisition, etc. And Dragon Age Inquisition showed that, yes, BioWare can actually rebound from past experiences, and they can learn some lessons from them. And that's what I'm hoping is going to happen, right? I'm going to get a lot of games that I need to get because there's a gap in my gaming library from my old games that I couldn't play on my PC or my old console. And that means I have to do a lot of catching up to do. It also means that buying a new PC is going to put a big hole in my pocket, so to speak. And so buying a brand new game on top of that and trying to, as well as catch up with all the other games I haven't played, it's going to be difficult. So I'm going to have to wait. And also, I like to wait for reviews. I like to get different opinions, on technical aspects, especially on PC, but also on the narrative and the gameplay, etc. Probably watch it on Twitch at least the first couple of hours to see how the game feels and plays, at least for other people I trust, and then make my decision, right? I probably will buy Mass Effect Andromeda because there's a difference between watching someone play and playing it yourself, getting the experience yourself. And I'm hoping that it will be a good experience, that they learned some of the lessons and created something that stands on its own. And a final note is, I think, again, going back to Mass Effect 3 and my experience with it, part of it, I think, was that I was hyped for it. I was very excited for it, to the point that there was really no way that game could have fulfilled my expectations. At some level, it's going to fail me. That's the thing about hype. It's one or two sets of glasses. One, either rose-tinted glasses or glasses for the blind, right? The first set, essentially what happens is that once you get what you want out of a game and you see it through those rose-tinted glasses, you're going to focus on that to the exclusion of everything else, right? All faults, and you ignore them because you got what you wanted, right? The other set of glasses are basically the dark lenses, the black lenses, means you can't see anything at all. You can't see the game for what it is because it will never meet your expectations. So you always will be disappointed at some level. And I want to give the game a chance by tempering my expectations and engaging it on its own terms. It might not be what I expected. I want it to surprise me. And so I'm hoping that given some time and, a little repair to my back pocket, I can in fact engage the game as it should be, as a game critic. I know there's a million of them because everybody's a critic, but I'm one of them, and I wish to engage it in a critical and informative way, an informed way. So the final answer to the person who asked the question, anyone else who might be interested in this, is like, I'm not excited, I'm not hyped. I am cautiously optimistic for the reasons I said, and I hope that the game, when I do get to it eventually, in the coming weeks or months, probably in a couple of months at most, will be everything that it wants to be. And it will entertain me and have a great experience. And I hope that your excitement is rewarded. Because as much as I harp against, pre-ordering culture and, patching culture and all that, one of the reasons I do that is because I want good games out there. And I want consumers to be rewarded for the time and money they put into the products. And I want the designers' work to shine. I want better games. So that's my final word on that. As always, if you like this or any video on my channel, please comment and subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you. Good night.
Wasea will tear you apart. Take a nap. You'll feel better.
Are you mad? I'm unstoppable. Feasting on her biotic-rich blood will be the last. But, Great Wind, Biotic God, what was I saying? I'm tired. You may be right. Yes, I'm tired. I'll nap. Destroy the universe later.
So much for godhood.